New contract in the European League crushed the WNBA.
The EuroLeague has reportedly made a massive offer to Caitlin Clark that might be too tempting for her to turn down. After facing jealousy and backlash in the WNBA, this move to the EuroLeague could be a perfect fit for Clark. Rumors are swirling about a $100 million deal, far surpassing her current $774,000 salary with the Indiana Fever and the $28 million she's earning from her Nike contract over 4 years. This deal could make Clark the highest paid player in women's basketball history, marking a major shift in the sport.
It's a hostile league to Caitlin Clark.
And look at what the NBA became. Even when Jordan was ascending and the league clearly saw that was the dude, and Nike was marketing the living hell out of Michael Jordan. I wanna be like Mike. It was still burning magic.
Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA could crumble, left with no star power to carry the league. Sponsorships would likely pull out of their long-term deals, leaving the league in a financial crisis. Players who once enjoyed the luxury of private jets could find themselves flying on budget airlines like Spirit, something they've been dreading all season. The loss of a marquee player like Clark could send the WNBA spiraling, losing the momentum and attention it so desperately needs.
To know that the highest paid WNBA player last season made $300,000. $300,000, the highest. But not only to make more than that, you're going to make the most money that any woman has ever made in the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark previously turned down a $5 million deal, proving that for her, it's not about the money. She simply loves the game of basketball. Unlike some others, she's not pushing for bigger paychecks. The same can't be said for Angel Reese, though. Reese often acts out, despite earning a salary most 22-year-old rookies could only dream of. If Caitlin leaves the WNBA, expect Reese and others to complain even more. WNBA players who have thrown shade at Clark should brace themselves, because if she heads to Europe, everything in the league will shift drastically.
We need to be seeing her drop 50 on us next weekend, you know? So I love her. I think she's the best player. Forget I ever said Paige is the best player in the country. I think she's the best player of all time. I don't know who ever said that I said that Paige is the best player in the country.
The world of women's basketball has been rocked by reports that the EuroLeague is ready to offer Caitlin Clark an eye-popping $100 million deal. To put that in perspective, this offer isn't just big, it's historic. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player. She's a cultural phenomenon. Her skills on the court are unmatched, but what sets her apart is her ability to transcend the game, drawing in a global audience and making her the hottest name in women's sports today. Recognizing her once-in-a-lifetime talent, the EuroLeague sees an opportunity to elevate women's basketball and is prepared to make a massive investment to make it happen.
Could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer.
If Caitlin Clark takes the leap to the EuroLeague, it could mark a major shift in power, making Europe the new go-to destination for the world's top basketball talent. This isn't just about one player. It's about the potential for the entire industry to move toward better financial opportunities overseas. For the WNBA, which continues to struggle with issues like player compensation and viewership, this could be a crucial turning point, and not in their favor. A move like this could trigger a talent migration, leaving the WNBA behind.
I'm getting sick of people saying that people need to stop hating on Caitlin Clark. Who hates her? Diana Taurasi came out and said, look, it's gonna be an adjustment when Caitlin gets to the WNBA. Y'all watch. And that's exactly what's happening. Angel Reese did the ring gesture to Caitlin, and y'all have villainized her ever since. And her and Caitlin literally like each other. They have both come out and said so.
The big question on everyone's mind now is simple. Can the WNBA compete with this kind of financial power? If the league can't match or even come close to the EuroLeague's massive offer, they may have no choice but to watch as Caitlin Clark leaves for greener pastures. And if she goes, what happens to the WNBA's future? Its fan base, its sponsorships, its overall stability? This isn't just a basketball deal. It's a potential game changer for the entire sport, with long-lasting consequences for women's basketball in the U.S.
The
this. This is a woman in America that is going to dwarf the men in terms of popularity and influence, driving.
Fans, but to casual viewers as well. Losing her to the EuroLeague would be a devastating blow, one that could set the WNBA back years in terms of progress and visibility.
For months, the WNBA has been riding high on the wave of excitement and attention Caitlin Clark has brought to the league. Her incredible performances, her ability to pack arenas, and her magnetic personality have all contributed to a much-needed surge in interest. However, the moment the possibility of Caitlin leaving for Europe became a reality, the mood within the WNBA shifted from optimism to outright panic. This isn't just any player we're talking about. This is Caitlin Clark, the athlete who single-handedly re-energized the league's fan base. Her presence on the court has been a major draw, increasing television ratings and creating significant buzz across social media. Her departure would leave a massive void that the WNBA might struggle to fill. Already facing an uphill battle with mainstream viewership and media attention, the WNBA would be scrambling to find a new star. And the truth is, there's no one quite like Caitlin Clark. She's a rare blend of skill, charisma, and marketability. A player who attracts not only hardcore basketball fans, but casual viewers as well. Losing her to the European League would be a devastating blow, one that could set the WNBA back years in terms of progress and visibility.
Clark is the first player in WNBA history to lead the league in assists and three-pointers made, and she has now scored the most points by a guard in a single season in WNBA history. As a rookie, also the first person in history to lead the league in assists and being top 10 in points. I don't think y'all understand how difficult that is.
The league's panic isn't just about losing a star player. It's about the very real financial consequences that could follow. Major sponsors, many of whom have invested in the WNBA largely because of Caitlin Clark's popularity, may start reconsidering their partnerships. Media networks, which have increased their coverage of women's basketball due to the spike in viewership Caitlin brings, might pull back as well. Without her, will fans still fill the arenas, buy the merchandise, or tune into the games? The ripple effect of Caitlin Clark leaving the WNBA could be catastrophic. The league, already battling for mainstream relevance, could face an exodus of corporate support, diminished TV deals, and a noticeable drop in fan engagement. Caitlin's departure could very well be a turning point, one that threatens to undo much of the progress the WNBA has made in recent years.
Say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. Game 1 of the Aces Liberty matchup on Sunday drew an average of 929,000 viewers. Was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever Sun contest. By the way, not only was viewership down, but attendance was as well.
Throughout the season, a subtle but undeniable undercurrent of jealousy has been brewing among WNBA players. It's not hard to understand why. Caitlin Clark, still early in her professional career, has become the face of the league, overshadowing established stars who have been grinding for years. For players like Angel Reese and Aya Wilson, both incredibly talented in their own right, watching Caitlin receive all the attention, accolades, and now a massive offer from Europe has been frustrating. Angel Reese, in particular, has been vocal about her dissatisfaction. Known for her outspoken nature, Reese hasn't held back when discussing the WNBA's pay structure, even pointing out that her salary doesn't cover her rent. It's a jarring statement, especially given the skill and dedication it takes to compete at the highest level of women's basketball. The fact that Caitlin, a relative newcomer, is now being courted with a $100 million offer from Europe only adds fuel to the fire amplifying the tensions within the league and sparking a deeper conversation about compensation and recognition.
You don't even. Yo! I'm living beyond my means! It's like. No, my rent is more than that. It's 8,000. I'm living beyond my means. Like y'all think. Babe, if y'all thought. It's like. Let me stop.
While Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise has captivated the sports world, players like Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson have felt increasingly sidelined. They believe they've put in the work and contributed significantly to the growth of the WNBA, yet haven't received the same level of global attention. Now, with Caitlin being courted by the European League with a staggering offer, that resentment has only deepened. For players who have spent years battling for recognition and fair compensation, seeing a newcomer like Caitlin receive such an astronomical offer feels like a slap in the face. What's particularly intriguing about this dynamic is that the jealousy isn't just about money. It's about legacy. Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson want to be remembered as pioneers in women's basketball, but with Caitlin Clark dominating headlines and potentially moving to Europe, there's a real fear they could be left in the shadows. This situation has sparked a conversation not just about finances, but about the future and recognition of the players who have laid the groundwork for today's WNBA. They worry that if Caitlin takes her talents overseas, the WNBA's narrative might shift away from those who have long been its backbone.
People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Caitlin Clark has achieved what seemed impossible. She's reignited the passion for women's basketball. Her presence on the court has had a direct impact on WNBA attendance and viewership, with fans flocking to arenas just to see her play. Her number 22 jersey has become a fan favorite, a staple in arenas nationwide. Caitlin isn't just a player, she's a phenomenon. When she's on the court, people take notice, and that attention has dramatically boosted the league's visibility. For instance, the Indiana Fever has seen record-breaking viewership, much of which is thanks to her undeniable star power. But it's not just her elite scoring ability, it's her unique connection with fans. Caitlin brings energy, excitement, and most importantly, much-needed attention to a league that has long struggled to stand out amidst other major sports.
The same attendance figures for all of the Indiana Fever games would be what they are with or without this ancillary coverage, which I feel to be very, very one-sided.
If Caitlin Clark leaves the WNBA, the league could face a devastating viewership crisis. Sponsors and networks, drawn in by Clark's unmatched marketability, might start to rethink their investments. The packed arenas, filled with fans eager to watch her play, could soon revert to empty seats, setting the WNBA back by years just when it seemed to be building real momentum. Caitlin isn't just a player. She's a brand, and her departure could take a massive portion of the WNBA's audience with her. Another issue Clark has faced during her time in the WNBA is constant targeting by other players. Whether it's due to her success or the attention she commands, she's been the recipient of more fouls than any other player this season. It's hard to ignore that this goes beyond aggressive defense. It's about jealousy.
Caitlin Clark, it seems like this entire season, she was the solution for so many things, but so many players, coaches, media people, so many people were also painting her out to be the problem. She could never do enough. She could never speak out enough. Her fans were the issue. Fever fans were the issue.
Why not
Caitlin Clark
explore
has been
other
fouled more
options
than
where she
any
might
other
be
star,
treated with the
and it's a
respect
clear
she
reflection
deserves?
of how her peers view her. They're not just competing with her on the court. They're trying to bring her down a notch. The sheer number of fouls she endures reveals a deeper resentment. For some players, Clark's success feels like a threat, and they've chosen to respond by playing rough, hoping to intimidate or slow her down. This targeting has taken a toll on Clark, both physically and mentally. She's been open about the challenges of being constantly fouled, and it's easy to see why she might be tempted to explore her options overseas. If she's going to be treated like an outsider in the WNBA, why not go where she might get the respect she deserves?
To me, Angel may have exceeded expectations even more so than Caitlin.
If Caitlin Clark decides to leave for the EuroLeague, the WNBA's already precarious financial situation could worsen significantly. The league's pay structure has long been a source of frustration for many players who feel undercompensated for their efforts. But Clark's departure wouldn't just mean losing a star. It would likely trigger a cascade of financial losses. Sponsorships, endorsements, and media attention that have been tied to her marketability could disappear. Sponsors who invested in the WNBA because of Clark might start pulling out if she's no longer playing. And without that financial backing, the WNBA's ability to pay its players could take a serious hit. This financial fallout could deter top talent from entering the league, with more players eyeing overseas opportunities where they can earn more. Without the resources to keep its stars happy, the WNBA could find itself in serious trouble.
Man, Caitlin Clark is just offered $5 million contract to play for Ice Cube's Big Three.
One of the most remarkable aspects of Caitlin Clark's career has been the unwavering loyalty and passion of her fan base. Wherever she plays, her fans follow, and their support is anything but casual. They are deeply invested in her success. Caitlin has built a following that is not only widespread, but also fiercely dedicated. If she decides to leave the WNBA for the EuroLeague, it's highly likely her fans will follow her there too. In today's globalized world, fans can easily tune into international games through streaming services and social media, and Caitlin's loyal supporters will do just that. Whether she's in a WNBA arena or on a EuroLeague court, her fans will be watching, a rare loyalty that speaks to Caitlin's unique ability to connect with her audience.
If you want the number 22 of national basketball history.
Yeah, I have Italian heritage, so I appreciate that.
The potential loss of Caitlin's fan base adds to the reasons why her departure would be catastrophic for the WNBA. Fans who were attracted to the league because of Caitlin may lose interest if she no longer plays in the U.S. The WNBA, which has struggled for years to establish a loyal fan base, would be losing one of its most valuable assets. Not just Caitlin herself, but the vast legion of fans who support her every move. This could lead to a significant decline in viewership and overall engagement with the league, making it even harder for the WNBA to regain its footing.
And listen, as demonstrated, Caitlin Clark is a beast. She is so popular that they have recently introduced something called the Clark Cam, which is a camera that is just dedicated to following Caitlin Clark around for the entire game, which is then live streamed here on this app.
What's more, Caitlin's departure could signal a major shift in how fans engage with women's basketball. If more players start leaving the WNBA for international leagues, fans might begin viewing Europe as the new epicenter for women's basketball. The potential loss of Caitlin Clark to the EuroLeague puts the WNBA in a vulnerable spot. This isn't just about losing a player. It's about losing the player, the star who has brought so much attention to the league. It's hard to envision how the WNBA will cope without her. If she makes the move, let's be honest, many of her dedicated supporters are likely to follow her to Europe. Ultimately, the future of the WNBA hinges on its ability to retain its brightest star.
All of this comes together and you need a star, and she is the star.
If Caitlin Clark chooses to leave for Europe, the league could be looking at a future without its most irreplaceable asset, and that could spell disaster for women's basketball in the United States. Losing Caitlin would not only diminish the league's star power, but also jeopardize the momentum it has built in recent years. Her absence could lead to a significant drop in viewership, sponsorship deals, and overall interest in the league. This isn't just about one player. It's about the potential regression of women's basketball in the U.S., a sport that has been striving for recognition and support. The impact of her departure could resonate far beyond the court, leaving a lasting void that may be difficult to fill. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community for more amazing content.